A. Using this book.
It's a good idea to have a routine when you use this book. For example, a weekly routine when you study a new unit for at least 30 to 45 minutes. A daily routine when you revise that unit. You may only need to revise for 5 or 10 minutes each time.
B. Studying a new unit.
When you are studying a unit for the first time, you need to be active when you are learning. With a new word or phrase, say it aloud and repeat it to yourself silently. If you have the e-book that goes with the book, use it to check the pronunciation. Use a highlighter pen to mark words you think are important or difficult. Write down new words and phrases in your notebook. Always try to write an example sentence for new words. You can choose an example from this book or a dictionary, but an example from your own life will often help you to remember a word. For example, I shared a flat with an Australian girl when I was in London last year. Do exercises in pencil, then you can rub them out using a rubber and do them again later. This is a good way to revise vocabulary.
C. Revising a unit.
When you are revising a unit 1 or 2 days later, it is also important to be as active as possible. Test yourself. For example, look at a word and cover the meaning. Can you remember what the meaning is? If you can't, check the meaning. Then come back to the word in 5 minutes' time and test yourself again. Look at what you wrote in your notebook when you first studied the unit. Is there any new information you want to add? For example, something about the pronunciation or a common word partner. Diagrams may help you to organize some of the vocabulary differently and help you to remember it. For example, take. Who took my pen? Let's take a break now. I took notes during the lecture. What size shoes do you take?
D. Expanding your vocabulary.
When you learn a word, for example, dirty, think of synonyms or opposites in your language. Look them up in a bilingual dictionary to find the English words. Then look up the English words in an English dictionary to check the meaning. From this, you will find that the opposite of dirty is clean, and you may also find filthy.
A. What do you do?
This is what some students do.
I write down new English words and phrases in my notebook, and next to each one I write a Spanish translation. I usually write down if a word is a noun, verb, adjective, and so on.
I sometimes write a word in phonemics because English pronunciation is very difficult for me. But my notebook is a mess. I like to draw pictures.
I sometimes make a note of new words in my notebook, but I often forget. I usually write a translation, and sometimes I write example sentences as well.
I've got a notebook. I don't use it much, but when I do, I try and list words by topic. So I put all the animals together and all the clothed words together, and so on. I find it's easier to remember the words this way.
I note down new words and phrases. Sometimes I translate them into Polish, and sometimes I write an explanation in English if it is not difficult. For example, kitten, a very young cat.
B. Tips for your notebook.
A tip is a piece of advice to help you. Here are some tips for your notebook. Put words from one topic in the same place. For example, food in one place, clothes in another, etc. Don't mix them up. You can also have grammar topics. For example, uncountable nouns, or a page for words that all have a connection. For example, words and phrases that were all in a story you read in English. Some words and phrases will go in more than one topic. If you can't find a topic for a new word or phrase, for example, useful or in particular, put them in a different place in your notebook. For example, a page for each day or each week, or perhaps one page for every English lesson you have. Write the date clearly at the top. For example, Monday the 14th of May. When you write down new vocabulary, write a translation if it is necessary, but also write the meaning in English if it is possible, or draw pictures. If possible, add synonyms, opposites, other parts of speech, etc. Awful. Adjective. Means terrible. Synonym. Dreadful. Enjoy. Verb. Means like something and get pleasure from it. Noun. Enjoyment. Adjective. Enjoyable. Example sentences help you with the grammar of a word, or with word partners, collocations. I enjoy living in a big city. Not, I enjoy to live in a big city. I spent 2 weeks in Rome. Not, I passed 2 weeks in Rome. You spend time in a place. Remember, words often have more than one meaning that you need to know. For example, a tip is also money that you give. For example, to a waiter for serving you in a restaurant.
A. What dictionaries do I need?
A bilingual dictionary is easy for you to understand and quick and easy to use. A dictionary in English will give you reading practice in English and many more examples of how words are used. If possible, use both. These are good dictionaries in English for your level, and most of them are available online. Cambridge Learners Dictionary, Oxford Word Power Dictionary, Longman Active Study Dictionary, Macmillan Essential Dictionary.
B. Information in dictionaries.
If you look up a word using the Cambridge Learners Dictionary, the information is shown like this. For example, the word fun. Pronunciation using phonemic symbols. A definition explains the meaning. Bold italics show common word partners. Part of speech. The letter U tells you that fun is uncountable. Fixed phrases using the word are shown in bold. Examples are in italics.
C. Defining words.
Defining words are words that dictionaries use when they define the words in the dictionary. Some of these are quite common. Emphasize. For example, my teacher has always emphasized the importance of writing down new words in a notebook. Relating to or connected to or with. For example, musical is connected with or related to music. Amount. For example, £5 million is a large amount of money. Official. For example, a passport is an official document. Behave. For example, people can behave strangely when they're nervous.
D. Using a dictionary.
When you use a dictionary to check the meaning of a word, put a tick next to it. Each time you return to a page with a tick, see if you remember the word. When you meet a new word or phrase in a text, first try to guess the meaning. Then use a dictionary to see if your guess was correct. Don't just read the dictionary definition. Example phrases and sentences show you how a word or phrase is used, and they help you to understand the meaning more clearly. If you look up a word in a bilingual dictionary and get 2 or 3 different translations, check these words in an English dictionary to see which translation is the best one for the situation. Remember that many words have more than one meaning. The first meaning in the dictionary is not always the one you want. You may need to read through the different meanings.
A. Parts of speech.
I have a brown leather chair by the window, and I often sit there in the morning to listen to music.
In the sentence above, I is a pronoun. Chair, window, morning, and music are all nouns. Have, sit, and listen are verbs. Brown and leather are adjectives. Often is an adverb. By is a preposition. The is a definite article. A is an indefinite article. And is a conjunction or link word. Here are 2 more examples.
We saw an elephant at the zoo yesterday.
Elephant and zoo are nouns. Saw is a verb. At is a preposition. An is an indefinite article. The is a definite article.
It was a cold night, so I walked quickly.
Was and walked are verbs. Cold is an adjective. Night is a noun. Quickly is an adverb. So is a link word.
B. Grammar.
When you are learning vocabulary, you need to know certain things about different words. For example, if nouns are countable. For example, books, apples, chairs. Or uncountable. For example, information, not informations. Advice, not advices. With verbs, you need to know if they are regular. For example, work, live, etc. Or irregular. For example, go, went. Take, took. You will also need to learn the grammar of phrasal verbs. For example, take something off, wake up. You also need to learn certain groups of words as phrases. For example, at the moment, never mind, see you later.
C. Word building.
In the word uncomfortable, UN is a prefix and ABLE is a suffix. Other common prefixes include IN and DIS. For example, incorrect and dislike. Common suffixes include MENT and IVE. For example, improvement and attractive.
D. Pronunciation.
Dictionaries show the pronunciation of a word using phonemic symbols. For example, book, before, cinema. Every word has 1 or more syllables. For example, book has 1 syllable, before has 2 syllables, cinema has 3 syllables. It is important to know which syllable to stress. For example, on before, it is the second syllable. Before. On cinema, it is the first syllable. Cinema. The vertical mark shows where the stressed syllable begins.
E. Punctuation.
Every sentence must begin with a capital letter and end with a full stop. Some sentences have a comma, which often shows a pause in a long sentence. Did you also know that a question must end with a question mark?
A. Who speaks what where?
Country, Australia. Nationality, Australian. Language, English. Brazil, Brazilian. Portuguese. China, Chinese. Mandarin and Cantonese. Egypt, Egyptian. Arabic. France, French, French. Germany, German, German. Greece, Greek, Greek. Israel, Israeli, Hebrew. Italy, Italian, Italian. Japan, Japanese, Japanese. South Korea, Korean, Korean. Poland, Polish, Polish. Russia, Russian, Russian. Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabian. Arabic. Spain, Spanish, Spanish. Switzerland, Swiss. Swiss German, French, Italian. Thailand, Thai, Thai. Turkey, Turkish, Turkish. The UK, United Kingdom. British, English. The USA, United States of America. American, English. The UK is England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
I come from Argentina, so I'm Argentinian, and my first language is Spanish. The capital is Buenos Aires, which has a population of more than 10 million people.
B. Parts of the world.
The continents in the world are Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, South America, Australia, Australia and New Zealand, and Antarctica. We also use these terms for different parts of the world. The Middle East, for example, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia. The Far East, for example, Thailand, Japan. The Caribbean, for example, Jamaica, Barbados, Scandinavia, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland.
C. The people.
When we are talking about people from a particular country, we add S to nationalities ending in I or I-A-N. But we need the definite article, the, for most others. Brazilians, Russians, Thais, Israelis are the British, the French, the Swiss, the Japanese are. With both groups, we can also use the word people. For example, Brazilian people, British people, etc.
A. Facts.
Did you know 2/3 of the surface of the earth is covered in water? El Azizia in Libya is the hottest place in the world, where temperatures of over 57 degrees Celsius have been recorded. The coldest place on Earth is probably Vostok in Antarctica, which reached a temperature of -89 degrees Celsius. The Kubera Voronya cave near the Black Sea coast in Georgia is the deepest cave in the world. It is over 2,000 meters deep. The Beijing-Hangshu Grand Canal is the longest canal in the world. It is 1,794 kilometers long. The highest waterfall in the world is Angel Falls in Venezuela. It is 979 meters high. The Amazon rainforest is the largest rainforest in the world, covering 40% of the South American continent. The Pacific is the largest ocean in the world and is nearly twice the size of the Atlantic Ocean.
B. Geography. Switzerland consists of 3 main geographical regions: the Swiss Plateau, the Jura, and the Alps. Switzerland is a land of contrasts, with completely different landscapes. The climate can also change within a very short distance. For example, Ascona in the south has an almost Mediterranean climate, but the Dufour Peak in Valais has a very cold climate. The distance between the two is just 70 kilometers.
North, northeast, east, southeast, south, southwest, west, northwest.
A. Weather conditions. Notice that it is very common to form adjectives by adding y. Noun, fog. Adjective, foggy. Cloud, cloudy. The cold, cold. Ice, icy. Noun, sun. Adjective, sunny. Verb, the sun is shining. Wind, windy. The wind is blowing. Snow, snowy. It's snowing. Rain, wet. It's raining. There are common word partners to describe weather conditions. It was very cloudy this morning, but the sun came out after lunch. The accident happened in thick fog. We had some heavy rain at the weekend. There was a strong wind when we were on the boat. The wind has blown all the apples off the tree. It rained in the morning, but the sky was clear by lunchtime. It's been extremely cold today. B. Rain and storms.
For heavy rain, we often use the verb pour. For example, pour with rain. For short periods of light or heavy rain, we use the noun shower. A storm is heavy rain with strong winds. It poured with rain this afternoon. Look, it's really pouring with rain now. We had a couple of heavy showers this morning. We had a couple of light showers this morning. A period of hot weather sometimes ends with a thunderstorm. First, it becomes very humid, then you hear thunder and see lightning, and it's followed by heavy rain.
C. Temperature. How hot or cold it is.
40 degrees Celsius. 10 degrees below zero. Boiling. Hot. Warm. Not very warm. Also cool. Cold. Also chilly. Freezing.
A. Pets and farm animals.
In the UK, many people keep pets. The most common are dogs and cats, but people also keep birds, for example parrots, that are usually in a cage. Children sometimes keep mice, singular mouse, and rabbits. Some people keep more unusual animals as pets, for example frogs, snakes, and spiders. Cage, parrot, rabbit, mouse, donkey, snake, frog, bull, spider, goat. Farms in the UK may have sheep, pigs, cows, horses, donkeys, chickens, goats, and a bull.
B. Wild animals. The pictures show a number of wild animals. If you were lucky, you may see these animals in the wild, but you will probably see them in a zoo. Some of these animals, for example tigers, are now quite rare. It is important that we protect these endangered animals. Monkey, camel, tiger, giraffe, leopard, lion, bear, elephant, trunk. C. Insects.
B. Ant, mosquito, fly, butterfly, wings.
D. Sea creatures.
Many different creatures live in the sea. Whale, dolphin, shark, octopus.
A. Parts of the body. The outer part of the body is covered in skin. Too much sun is bad for your skin.
Forehead, cheek, lips, neck, chest, elbow, waist, bottom, hip, knee, ankle.
Chin, shoulder, breast, wrist, thumb, heel, toe.
B. Movements with your mouth, face and head.
People breathe through their nose or mouth. You breathe in and out about 12 to 15 times a minute. People smile when they're happy, and sometimes smile at people to be polite. People laugh at things which are funny. People sometimes cry if they're very unhappy or receive bad news. People in some countries nod their head to mean yes, and shake their head for no. People often yawn when they're tired, and sometimes when they're bored.
C. Common expressions.
Shake hands with someone. Fold your arms. Comb your hair. Wave to somebody. Blow your nose.
A. Describing beauty.
Your appearance is the way you look, and we sometimes use different words to talk about beauty in men and women. Women can be attractive or good-looking, and we often use pretty to describe a girl. We use beautiful or gorgeous for women who are very attractive. Men can be attractive and good-looking, but also handsome. If men are very attractive, we can say they are gorgeous or very good-looking, but not usually beautiful. Liam has become quite handsome. Bella looks gorgeous in that dress. Olivia was very pretty when she was younger. They're a very good-looking couple.
B. Size. We can talk about a person's height and their weight. For example, I'm roughly 1 meter 80 tall, and I weigh just under 80 kilograms. If someone is not tall or short, you can describe them as medium height. If a person is very similar to most other people in height and weight, you can say they are average.
How tall is Hannah?
Medium height, I'd say.
Is Marco quite big?
No, about average.
C. Hair.
Blonde, fair, brown, dark, black, straight, wavy, curly.
D. Talking about someone's appearance. What does Sophia's boyfriend look like?
He's blonde and quite good-looking.
Is he tall?
Tallish, but he's got broad shoulders. He looks very athletic. I think he does a lot of sport.
Is he quite smart?
Yeah, he dresses quite well.